trying to get scores and like everything updated all at once at the same time, and like try to actually catch up to you guys and everything else that was going on. Alright, starting down here at the bottom left side of the map, representing Evil Geniuses, we have the baller nerd. It is Suppy! I'm always hyped for this dude, man. One of my favorites in all of StarCraft, doesn't matter what region. Probably a little bit biased because he does play in the Collegiate Star League as well. A Cal Berkeley native, and just a good dude, just a good person in general. I'm really glad to see that he's getting pretty deep in these qualifiers. It is round of 32 only that he's facing Polt, so you could just, if you take a look at the brackets right now, you guys could put in exclamation brackets. You could take a look at yourself. You could already look at the Wikipedia ones because they have it down to the round of 32 and on. You could already see what the round of 32 looks like right now, and it is just spammed with Korean players, but there's some foreigner hope. There is some foreigner hope, guys. Don't give up on the foreigners because, you know, guys like Nida and Snoot are getting pretty deep. They're actually facing each other right now in the round of 16, so somebody in the quarterfinals will be a foreigner. It is confirmed. It is confirmed. Snoot's almost reaching that Korean tier, but yeah, no, like we're going to have a foreigner at least in the quarterfinals, so that's pretty cool. Alright, of course, he's going to be facing off at the top right side of the map representing CM Storm. We have Polt, Native American himself. Not actual Native American, not actually American, but basically he is American. That's how we work, man. Our adopt the American adoption system works really well for guys like Polt, especially when your favorite is in the StarCraft scene. All you have to do is just move to Texas and you know, be very, you know, just kind of handsome, cute, be a good StarCraft player, man. We'll take you in. We'll take you in. You know. Violet's one of those guys. We adopted him. Balloon's starting to get adopted as an American as well. You know. They weren't born in Korea. They're American, man. They're American. Just, you know, pure bleeding red, white, and blue. Of course, this is going to be very interesting to see because Polt has a very strong TVZ style. They're very hard to take him on. Actually, almost any Zerg should be very worried about themselves whenever they're facing off against Polt. Suppy, of course, mining a little bit of gas out or a little bit sooner. He's going to be able to get his speed started up pretty quickly. Polt, meanwhile, of course, opening up with gas himself. He's going to be dropping the command center and might be following it up with a pretty quick factory himself. Now, with Polt, you have to be very wary of how he plays because he is a very dangerous Hellbat user. That dude loves his Hellbats. If you guys haven't seen him with his Hellbats, watch out for him. Also, Marauder play as well. He's one of those guys that could really mix it up, and it becomes very tough to prepare for him because he's such a versatile player, and he's very effective with every style that he plays with. You know how some players, you know, the Avilas and whatnot, they're just like the straight mechers, and you got the kids that will just straight bio, you know, your standard 3CC, drop the racks, a starport, all that stuff. Eventually, you know, they go for the timing pushes and whatnot, try to harass. Somebody like Polt, he'll bring so much variance between bio to mech to Hellbat aggression to Marauder Hellbat to just all this crazy stuff that's going to take you a little bit off guard. So you have to be very wary. Suppy, of course, scouting out at least, well, hey, at least there is a factory. He knows about that, so good for him. Suppy, meanwhile, going to be increasing that work account on his side of the map. Recently, of course, I did an interview with him actually back at MLG Anaheim, not recently, but about a month ago. You know, talked about his lifestyle and how were things over at the player house down at the Spider House. And, you know, he said it was an experience unlike any other, but the thing is, he didn't feel like he really improved too much as a player. He didn't exactly, you know, start getting all of a sudden better results. He said probably I played maybe even better when I was, you know, back at Berkeley when I was really busy. I had all this time to myself to practice, and, you know, it just for whatever reason just didn't work out 100%. But, you know, it was really cool to live in that atmosphere. He talked about, you know, how basically it was done for them, which I thought was really neat. You know, laundry, cooking, everything like that, they were taking care of. All they really had to do was just game. So very, very kind of unique perspective almost that you would only typically see in a Korean house. But while he was down there, played in also leagues like TSL, so I mean he had a lot of time where he was getting a lot of exposure as well. He had a lot of time to play against pro players from across the world, so you know, it's one of those things that you can't really disregard. But gonna be excited to see him back here more often in the States. You could see, I mean, he's already been playing anywhere from WCS to you know, all these other qualifiers from Red Bull, you know, probably, hopefully, we'll see him soon at a DreamHack. He does plan to go back to Berkeley, so he might be a little bit busier in terms of scheduling for events, but you know, who knows? Maybe being just busy helps people out. And think about it too as well, because some people just work when they're more constrained in time. They don't have time to, you know, kind of mess around, relax a little bit. They have to get everything out and done, and they feel a little bit more pressure to perform better that way. So it could be a little bit of a scenario with Suppy. So hopefully once he gets back into rhythm, we'll be seeing just. It's not like he really declined at all, but hopefully we'll be seeing even better results than we saw before. Few drones getting roasted and picked off. Polt gonna pull it back, getting some already damage and harassment done. Suppy, meanwhile, utilizing those queens to push off for the time being. He's got to be very wary of his natural, because right now this amount of lings is not exactly going to hold off or press against these Hellions. So Lair almost done. He's going to use the queens, still continuing to push off. Again, the longer the queens do stay alive over here, the longer they're going to be able to build up energy, allowing them, of course, for transfuses. So Hellions have to be very careful as they press on. But now they do have a Banshee with them, and Banshees are the game changer at times. Sometimes that additional DPS, while the Hellions line up the queens, the Banshee just kind of pokes away at them, and now double Banshee as well. So here comes Polt, man. Here comes Polt. No Spore Crawler to speak of, so no detection for the time being. Using the first initial transfuse on the Queen, taking out the Queen with the most energy right now. Going to take out the Queen with the second most energy. All of these Queens are going to get taken out. Majority of the Hellions do still live, actually almost all of them. Trying to produce as quickly as he possibly can some form of defense, but even if you know, the Spore Crawler gets up in time, these Hellions are still alive, and he'll have to use, unfortunately, the drones to fight right now, and you do not want to be losing any workers at this point, or any point at all. Loses his 5th Queen right now. Eventually clears out the Hellions, but the worker losses do continue. We'll take a look at the worker tab right now. 23 total workers have been killed. Counterattack underway. Does Polt have a wall off? He does have the wall off. Is there a Baneling nest back at home? There it is. I do see a Baneling. So technically he could make a Baneling nest bust through here and try his best to continue pressing his way through. But the longer this game goes, the more time that Polt does have to produce. Banshee's still staying alive right now, going to try to pick off anything else that they could additionally possibly do, and there goes a 6th Queen. Might be able to even get number 7 here if he micros this carefully. We'll lose 1 Banshee, but he'll trade it for Queen number 7 right now. Just an enormous amount of damage getting done right now by Polt. Absolutely beautiful and fantastic. Polt, meanwhile, going to be floating over to his 3rd base. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 barracks total, with the additional help of course, the factored reactor, the factory that's reactored, as well as the starport bringing out the medevac. So this amount of lings now becomes a little bit, oh, how do we say it? Well, non-essential. I don't know. They're not going to be much help at this point. +2 underway. Spire getting built by Suppy. Now, the one thing that's cool for Suppy right now, he's already been able to recover and work a count. Now, typically, all this time, he would have loved to, you know, utilize it more for tech, utilize it for more unit production. But, you know, Suppy still recovered. Suppy recovered it all, so, you know, you remember all the Hellions did get cleared out. So, all those Hellions that were out on the map and those Banshees, that was supply, that was resources, that was a significant amount of investment as well. So, losing all of that, you know, you can't forget about that either. Polt, meanwhile, going to be looking to be pretty safe over here at the 3rd base, of course. One of those things where just, you know, Polt's just such a magnificent macro player. Down at the bottom right over here, we do have the 4th hatch for Suppy as well. Also, this macro hatch about to finish up that we noticed earlier. Now, you can't ignore the mutas, man. The mutas, the +2/+2 is going to finish up here soon. So, Suppy is sticking it with his guns right now. Ling Bane Muta. And typically, again, when you're playing against a biostyle, that is probably the most efficient way to play Ling Bane Muta, just because you could produce so quickly, remax. You can typically find the best engagement. Of course, the Baneling connections versus Marines are most likely one of the more efficient trades as well. Now, Banshee does get sniped down that final one as well. Baneling's already in position to defend. We do have a couple mutas flying around. Do spot, of course, some of these Marines out in the middle of the map, and he could actually go swarm them right now. I think he's got enough, just barely. I think he has just enough, just barely. Polt's not dropping right now in the main, but look at Suppy. Suppy's already preparing himself for a drop of... Oh, there it is. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, Suppy's preparing himself for a drop, so I guess he spotted it a little bit earlier. We'll have to lift off. Gets on out of there. Meanwhile, over here, already a lot of burrowed Widow Mines, as well as pressure coming at the 3rd base. Micron back to Marines. Marauders doing a good job of trading away at them. Suppy starting to fall down in supply, 128 to 158. Now we have Polt spotting that 4th hatch, but he's got to be very cautious. Good micro right there, man. Look at that. Just the smallest amount of unit forces, still making it the most cost-efficient trade for himself possible. Very just efficient with how he trades and very efficient way how he pulls back. Now, we do have a few overlords kind of hanging out over here, free for the pickings. Polt will be able to pick them off. Of course, that drop did a wonderful job also during that time distracting. If Suppy was able to actually have his full set of forces over here, might have been a little bit of a different story. Now we have Mutas flying in over here. No aggro on the additional Widow Mines, but here comes the surround. We'll see how much damage he's going to be able to do. This is way too many bio forces for Polt right now. For Suppy to handle, he's going to pull back. Overseer does come and help him out. One by one, he can pick off the Widow Mines as long as he doesn't sit around and aggro second one. There we go. Oh, he actually does aggro one hit. Okay. Second hit. Just not enough mutas to snipe it down quickly enough, man. That's unfortunate. Overseer gets sniped down, so no detection is available. I feel like there should be, yeah, there it is. New set of Widow Mines are in position. Meanwhile, over here, Marines clearing out the Queen, clearing out the Creep as well, preventing Suppy from having that additional detection and speed bonus, I guess if you want to call it at that. And what this is going to do is, you know, cut Suppy's map a little bit short, but here we go, getting a really good trade right here. Look at this. Suppy, check this out. Good micro right there, rolling through very efficiently, doesn't completely detonate on all the Marauders or anything crazy like that. Manages to keep a lot of the mutas alive, has a new fresh forest, producing even more banelings right now along the way. 4th hatch is alive and well. 5th hatch, the macro hatch, is doing well as well. Now, if he could just buy himself a little bit of time to get some workers down there to get a little bit of saturation down at that bottom hatch, but for the time being, I think he's going to be okay with trading against all of this right now as it is. Here comes some more units influx, and look at Suppy, he's fighting through this. He is fighting through this. Oh. What am I? what am I left around a little bit too long now? Suppy.